So it's all about giving, man.
Yeah.
And any book you read, any person you listen to, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, they all give.
100%.
Give information. Give, and then you shall receive.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Without giving, you have nothing.
Exactly.
If you're not a giver, you're a taker, period. There is no in between.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Jikeme, the Wave Maker, and we are here making waves all over in the community, man. And we got a friend of mine coming all the way from, I met him in Hollywood Beach, Florida. So today he's going to tell you a little bit about where he's from. But I met him in Hollywood Beach, Florida at the Patrick Bet-David, the Vault Conference. And he's all the way here in Atlanta, Georgia with the Wave Makers. So we're excited to have you, man. Remember, don't miss the wave playing around in the sand. Talk to us, Lukas. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Kind of exhausted. Waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to work out. Been driving since Sunday. And yeah, man, I'm doing the journey, the entrepreneurship journey.
Tell us more about this. Like, you're driving. What are you doing, bro? What's happening?
Originally, I'm from Virginia, right? I've always had this drive in me where I wanted to do more in life, right? I don't know if, when you're stuck in life, you're comfortable, and you just need a way out, right? So I went to the vault, actually.
Yeah.
And I went there, I prayed, right? I'm a man of God, Christ.
Nice. Me too.
Yep. I prayed for clarity. I prayed to give me clarity for my next moves, right? Like Patrick says, plan out your next 15 moves.
Yeah.
And being so young, it's hard to plan out your next moves. Because there's so much stuff around you, so much information coming in. Do this, do that, do e-commerce, do this,
Yeah.
So I went to the vault for clarity. And out of everything I got, everyone I talked to, everyone's like, you have to move out your hometown. Everybody.
Wow.
Yep. So I moved out this Sunday, and day after day, some days I would stay at hotels, but other days I would be working in my car, and I would just fall asleep in my car.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's most of the days. That was probably, Thursday? So probably 3 out of the 4 days I stayed in my car.
Wow.
I would wake up at 5 a.m., go to Planet Fitness or LA Fitness. Hopefully I'm good before this airs. I'm using my friends' memberships that look like me. So I'm able to go in,
bro.
Scan. It's all the hustle.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
Like, I understand what it is. All right. I was, I actually willing and by my own will, was kind of homeless for about 2 to 3 years. The same, man. I lived out of my car. I stayed at my, which, by the way, huge shout out to Mr. Young, Tony Young. He's actually my martial arts instructor since I was 4 years old. He actually helped to change my entire life since I've been 4. But I stayed on the karate school floor for about 2 years as well. And just, it is what it is, man. I had to figure it out, but through that time, to be honest with you, I grew through adulting like I've never grown before. My business actually grew tremendously while I was on the floor. A lot of people didn't know I was sleeping on the floor. A lot of people didn't know I was sleeping in my car. But it trained me. It gave me that discipline needed in the adult life. I had discipline in my life as a child, because I was in martial arts. And I got my black belt when I was about 12, 13 years old. And I had been training since 4. So that's 7 something years there, of training in martial arts. But what I'm saying is I know what it is to be in the grind and be in the hustle. And there is a time and a place, I think, that every man should go through that. It may not be sleeping on the floor, or sleeping in your car, sleeping in motels, but it definitely must be going through the hustle and the grind and the grit in order to become a man, bro. So I applaud you. Let's clap it up for Lukas, everybody. This is fire. Yeah. So tell us more, man.
And actually, so this Sunday, I left, right? I told everybody, all the important people, right? I left. And then what's funny is I actually got this networking opportunity because I network. I tried to network 5 hours a day, either DMs, phone calls, cold calls, just building rapport with people around me. People, when I go to the bank to go cash in some, to go deposit some money, right? I would talk to people around me, waiting in line, just make crack jokes, build rapport so they know me, they know my name.
Wow.
So regarding all that, I networked over there. I met this guy named Gary Clark. Gary Clark, he played in the NFL. I think he won the Super Bowl. I'm not too sure. I'm not a big NFL guy. But he heard about my hustle. He heard about my story. And he's actually inviting me to a suite for a Commanders game this Sunday to network for his NFL real estate network thing.
Wow. That's fire, bro.
Yeah, so right when I get to Orlando, I'm not even going to have time to, sit down, work. I mean, I'm working right now, but sit down and, get grinding on Orlando time, right?
Yeah.
I have to fly back to where I came from, D.C., for the game, and I'm flying back the morning of the next, 5 a.m. the next day. Yeah. And
that's fire, bro. I mean, listen, my mentor taught me a long time ago, and you probably heard it before, out of every adversity lies a seed of equal or greater benefit.
Okay.
Did you ever heard that before?
I've heard it before, but...
Listen to me. Out of every adversity. This is an adversity, right? You're out of the house.
Yeah.
You're on your own. You're figuring it out. You're driving across country. You're staying in motels. You're staying in your car. You're taking a huge risk. And for a lot of people who don't really know what entrepreneurship means, it actually means to risk it all, to take risks. And so you're taking risks, and because of that risk, you're going to reap a reward. So the bigger the risk, the bigger the result.
And I do want to mention, it's also about helping, right? So throughout this journey of mine, right? Throughout these 5 days of this journey,
yeah,
I've given a Bible out already to this homeless guy because he came up to me. I promise you, this is God's plan for me.
Yeah.
I felt it. I always had this gut feeling. This guy, homeless guy, came up. I mean, he wasn't homeless, but he came up to me. He was saying, this and that. I don't want to, say too much, but instead of food, he asked for a Bible. So I was like, man, you know what?
That's money.
So I got him food and a Bible, and I was able to sit down and talk with him, right? And then eventually, throughout the conversation, I realized that one of his family members passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, close. Immediate family. So it's all about giving, man.
Yeah.
And any book you read, any person you listen to, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, they all give. 100%. Give information. Give, and then you shall receive.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Without giving, you have nothing.
Exactly.
If you're not a giver, you're a taker. Period. There is no in between.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have something, right? And so, a lot of people just have to understand the law of giving. There is a law, right? Whatever you reap, that you will sow, right? I mean, whatever you sow, that shall you reap, right? Yeah. So let me say that again for everybody that's listening, all my melancholies out there. Whatever you sow, that shall you reap. Have you ever heard that before?
No, I have not heard that.
Okay, it's in the book, right? It's in the Bible, right?
Okay.
And you can actually go in and kind of look at how it was written then. But whatever you sow out into the earth and in the world or in the ground or whatever the case may be, that is what you will reap. So if you sow an apple seed, right, into the ground, what kind of tree are you going to get?
An apple tree.
Right. Are you going to get a pineapple, bro?
No, you're not gonna get no
Are you going to
pineapple.
get an orange?
Nope.
No, you're going to get an apple.
Exactly.
Because that is what you sowed in the ground. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, exactly.
So whatever you sow that you reap. So if I sow money, what am I going to get?
More money.
Period.
Exactly.
If I sow time, what am I going to get?
I'm
going to get time back.
Yeah.
If I sow freedom or information of freedom into the lives of others, what am I going to get back?
You get freedom. Damn.
If you sow a Bible, which has an infinite amount of potential into someone's life, what are you going to get? It's infinite, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And so what you just did, you have no idea what type of reaping is coming your way. So I say get ready.
All right.
Guys, if you're listening to this podcast and you know he should get ready, go ahead and type it right now in the chat. Yo, Lucas, get ready, bro. It's about to happen.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. So tell us more, man, about this journey. Like what's going on?
We can go before. We can talk about what we did. So I do real estate, right?
Okay. What do you do in real estate?
So I started off earlier this year as a realtor.
Okay.
I like it, don't really like it, you know, in between those two. I'm more of you know, being a realtor is more being like an advisor. Like, I like being more on the consulting side, like helping, you know. I mean, you are helping as a realtor, right? You're helping getting them dream house, but you're also kind of selling at the same time. I mean, like anything else, right?
Right.
But that's not what I want to be in. So I have a construction background for over, like, handyman contractor background for over 3 years.
Cool.
So I'm moving down to Orlando. I'm taking this funding course. His name is Arturo. Met him at the Vault.
Yeah.
Arturo Giovanni.
Yeah.
Great guy. If you guys don't follow him, you guys should follow him. He is direct with you. He's straight up. He tells you the truth, where you're at, and, you know, like, what you need to do. So I took his funding course. He figured out the whole credit game. So now I'm doing this banking strategy where I can basically buy a primary home every 60 days.
Nice.
Loan officers don't even know this, right? I mean, they probably do, but they don't tell you because it's under their company's laws, right?
Yeah.
Rules and regulations. So moving down to Orlando, doing that for the wholesaling and digital marketing. My true passion is I went to go out. So this is where my true passion comes in, is I was stuck, right? I was comfortable. I was doing the same thing, you know. I was working out, don't get me wrong, but I would eat unhealthy, right? I would go outside on a jog. I would come back, sleep, right? It was like I would do the things, right? But I would also do the bad things with me. Which you shouldn't do at all. You should do the good, and then, you know, keep the ball moving, keep the snowball rolling so it gets bigger and bigger.
Right.
So where was I? I got mad ADHD. Where was I? I was at the Guatemala trip. So I was in this position of comfortability, right? And my mom, and her stepfather, they have a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I always pushed it back. I was like, no, I don't want to go. The day before, I kid you not, the day before, I was like, all right, I'm getting the ticket. It's Guatemala, nonprofit. I'm getting the ticket. I'm going. God told me to go. Gut feeling again. It's the gut feeling I always get, to move down here, to go to Guatemala, to stop drinking, stop smoking weed. We'll get into that later.
Nice.
But when I was younger, I was doing all that stuff.
Wow.
And so I went to Guatemala, met 12 artists, entrepreneurs. Stories can't relate to anything I've ever seen. Families, I mean, 10 out of 12 of their families, you know, not living anymore, living off the streets, artists, amazing artists. And hearing the story, man, it just changed me. It like clicked a switch in me.
Wow.
It clicked a switch in me. I went back to the States, and I was like, all right, I need to figure something out, right? I need to do something. And the moment I realized is these guys don't have anything digital. They don't have anything to put themselves out there. They have Instagram, but they don't have, well, you can see their art and stuff like that, but they don't have anywhere they can book an appointment, you know, all that stuff. So I always been into web design, UI and UX designs, web agency. So I started my own web agency. And with that, it's basically I'm helping and coaching for so I'm creating them a website and then coaching them how to use their website and implement it for entrepreneurs, self-starters, and small business owners, right? So because they can't spend 20 plus hours learning how to create a website, right?
Right.
They want one already made for them and then coached how to use their own website and their own software, right? So I work with Wix, Webflow, Shopify, and Squarespace.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, and hopefully I get, if we're big enough, I get a partnership with them.
It'll happen, man. They'll sponsor us.
Yeah. So my dream is once I get all this web agency settled down, I get it, you know, systems and processes in place and everything. I want it to be a charitable business where 10% of the proceeds goes directly to entrepreneurs and small businesses worldwide, where they have an experience in the digital realm. So their websites are paid for. We host them, right? It's self-running. Not only artists, right? Small businesses and all that stuff.
So where would you say your focus is? You know, I know you talked a little bit about real estate.
Yeah.
I know you talked about UX design, things of that nature, websites, you know, coaching, helping people, philanthropy. You know, what I know about business and what I know about really making major waves is sometimes you got to pick a beach.
Yep. No, exactly. No, you're right. You're right. 100%.
And it's like, bro, I used to, I mean, I'm telling you, like, and people know me, like, I was everywhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I've done so much in my life. People know me for certain things, and I know you're gonna ask me some questions about that, like what I've done, but people know me for so many different things, not just one thing. And I've learned over the last maybe 2 or 3 years is how to focus on the one thing. There's actually a book that's written called The One Thing, right? Okay. And it's a phenomenal book if you guys want to go check it out. But it basically talks about, and my mentor shares, like, you have to figure out that maybe that one or that second thing that's going to build the most influence possible, income possible, and impact possible to transform or change your trajectory of your current life or your current state. So from a coaching perspective, I want to coach you real quick, Lucas, like, yo, bro, where are you right now, or where do you want to be out of all the great things that you're doing and that you've done already? Because it sounds like you've already done great stuff. Where do you think your focus is?
So definitely 100% on the web agency, right? 100%. The only reason I bring up real estate is because I believe, since I have experience in it, I believe it's more of like the side thing, right? Yeah. I could buy my primary home while I'm doing web designs at nighttime, because I'm a hustler. I'm working 16, 18 hours a day. Yeah. I work on the home, right? I'm working on the home while I'm focusing. My main focus is on the web design, right? Web agency, working on small businesses, entrepreneurs, reaching out, cold calls. I'm not doing cold calling for wholesaling. I'm not doing all this stuff for real estate. Yeah. Right? I'm not reaching out as much as I'm reaching out for web agency and web design. Right. My story comes from this web design and agency. Wow. But if you do need help with the real estate world and funding and learning how to do all this stuff, I'm here. Yeah. You can know a lot of I know exactly what you mean. You can know a lot of stuff, but pick one to choose and then put your knowledge and expertise to that.
Yeah, and I only say this because as entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs at some point have to turn into business owners. Exactly. And business owners at some point need to turn into advisories of the board or CEOs, things of that nature. Like, it's just different levels of it. And I'm learning, like, oh man, when I was 25, 27, 28, I was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I was. I was doing this, and this, doing everything. And now I figured out a way to do everything but stay on the one thing. And people can point towards that one thing. One thing I would say is building a team, guys, like building a solid, effective team. Exactly. Whether that's a team of VAs coming out of the Philippines or, Pakistan or whatever the case may be, who can pretty much SOPs and run every single part of the business, or whether that's just a great team of entrepreneurs, business owners who all have a different, area that they work in, and all of you guys are working together, then you can say, yeah, I'm in real estate. I mean, technically, you may be doing the websites for real estate, right? Yeah. But your partners in real estate, you kind of point, there's different ways that you can be in everything without actually having to be the guy who's doing everything. And I found a way to do that. And now we're growing and scaling a lot of companies, helping a lot of them turn their content into offers that sell. Okay. So, I can tell somebody, oh yeah, I really am in the trucking business because I'm growing and scaling a trucking business.
So that's exactly where the giving comes in with the real estate. Yeah. The reason I'm going to go over to Gary Clark, Commander Suite, whatever. Nice. I'm not into football. I'm into soccer. Is because they're going to market me. I'm going to spend money too, but they're going to spend money to market me because they know I'm a hustler. I'm not going to do anything with the leads. What I'm going to do is create a referral business. I'm going to give the leads out to agents that I know, agents that need help, agents that need leads, right?
100%.
So that's where the giving comes in too, right? You want to keep giving, right? Now you can't keep everything to yourself because otherwise, what? You're gonna get overloaded, right? And you know that.
This is good. Like what I would like for you to do, and this may help you. because we're all about creating the wave, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people can go to the beach and get in the water, but waves come from deep. They come from the depths. They come from way out, right? Okay. Everybody's just in the shallow water. You know, anybody can, you can go to the beach, you playing game, you know, everybody's jumping. But when the wave comes, it seems like everybody needs to go out further in order to ride them. So let's go a little bit further. Let's go a little bit deeper.
Oh, okay.
Right? Check this out. Have you ever thought about creating a business around giving?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we talked about the law, right?
Exactly.
Right? Whatever you give, that shall you receive, right? Yeah. Whatever you sow, that shall you reap, right? So just think about it as a caveat, or maybe even a pivot someday once you get to the point where you have the resources, the money, the tools, the strategies, and everything. Okay. How could you make the maximum amount of impact, influence, and income by giving? Because it sounds like that's what's really in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It sounds like that's what's really here in your passion. And so that's probably going to be the thing that fulfills you the most.
Okay. I'll keep that.
You know what I mean? But you still need to make money.
Yeah. No, trust me. I hate the end of the sales when it's like, all right, credit card information.
Oh, bro.
It's the worst part, man.
And you know what? I understand. That's why you need a team.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's why we get VAs now.
100%. You need a team. You need a person who can handle the logistics, handle the money, get an accountant, get somebody who can, go through that sales process with the person.
So, Jikeme, I want to know exactly, because you said 24, 25, you're doing all these things.
Yeah.
What were you doing? Like, before, I guess when you were 20, like, what were you doing when you were 20 before you did all these things?
When I was 20, bro? Oh, man. In college, jeez. I was the life of the party, man. South Carolina State University. I went to South Carolina State University, came out of Riverdale High School. Okay. I was out of the house, right? So I come from a really Christian background, right? My mom is an elder. Okay. My father was a preacher, and a singer. My mom was an evangelist and all this kind of stuff. So, I came from a tight-knit home, but we, at that particular time, between that 18 to 20, we were living in Riverdale, you know what I mean? Riverdale, Georgia, and on the south side. And so I've completely changed, I believe, from the person who I was even to the person who I am right now. My dialect, everything has changed, right? Okay. And for the better. And it's really because I knew, even in those moments, I knew I was supposed to be somewhere else. Okay. So when I went off to college, I was like, man, I'm away. I'm away from home. I don't have to go to church unless I want to. You know how it is. It's like,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't. I'm not in this super tight environment. Which, by the way, I'm super thankful for that environment. I'm thankful for my mom. I'm thankful for that environment. But when I got to college, man, I was going crazy, man. My first year in college, I was wilding out. No exaggeration. It's like, that it's like that kid that comes in, he's like trying to be super narrow and straight. His parents got him on, and then he gets away and he goes nuts, right? So for the first time, my freshman year in college, bro, I was wilding. I was wilding out.
No, I think that's good to hear.
It was fun. Parties, life of the party, planning parties, doing all that kind of stuff. So how did I come about this? That's a long story. You might have to ask some more questions. So
I guess what I was trying to get at was when you started, like, when did it click? When did the trigger click,
For business?
Yeah, for business, just in life. Because for me it was, so you can get a better understanding and then build off of it. When I was like around 17, I was, before that, I started smoking weed when I was like 14. Smoking weed. I would drink with my family, but, just because of Spanish culture, drinking. And I realized, and I'm thankful, we're no longer together, but I was vaping too.
Wow.
She had a big impact on my life, my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Very mature. We were both very mature. And, you know, it was just hanging around the wrong crowd, hanging around with the wrong people. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you are your sphere.
Yeah.
Literally, bro, I'm telling you, July, I had no one around me. First person I connected with was Jeff the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
After that,
Big shout out to my bro.
Yeah,
Jeff.
Big shout out to Jeff the entrepreneur. Go follow him. I'm giving shout outs to everybody. I met him. I saw the video 11 weeks ago. 11 weeks ago, this all came together.
Wow.
With but when I was 17, everything changed, right?
Yeah.
11 weeks ago, I changed my sphere entirely, and I only talked to Jeff and then some of the guys who want to better themselves.
Right.
And I kid you not, throughout those 11 weeks, I'm now in a circle with his circle.
Yep.
I'm connected with you now. I'm connected with Gary Clark.
Yep.
I'm like connected with all these people like want to be better.
Yeah.
And everyone behind me is like, damn, like,
yeah,
you know. And I'm like, come with me. So now I'm creating this inner circle. If you guys want to, like, I don't know if my Instagram's gonna be here, but follow me. I'm creating this mastermind for young men.
Yeah.
And it's and women, and girls if you want to, woman, where it's just staying healthy, staying wealthy. It's like an accountability group.
Yeah, 100%.
And my buddies are in there. It's gonna be every Sunday. I'm planning it to be 6 or 8 p.m. And it's just to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Because that's what I needed at that age, right? That's what I needed being 17, being 16. I needed some hard love.
Yeah.
Right. I needed I needed plans. I didn't have plans. I didn't have anyone to give me plans, right?
Yeah.
Diet plans. I mean, it's all on YouTube, but no one's there to hold you accountable. You're 95% more likely to complete your goals if someone's holding you accountable.
Right, 100%.
But yeah, that's that.
Man. I mean,
so
you know,
for you, let's talk about it.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, great stuff. Let's clap it up for Lukas for letting go. And I mean, there's a lot of people who may still be doing their thing, you know, smoking weed, drinking, everything. That's cool. But at the end of the day, in order to operate at an optimal level, period, as a human being, you know, you do have to make those kinds of decisions in order to go up. I mean, and look at how fast, right, you went, right? All right. And a lot of people are afraid of the time, right? They're just afraid, hey, how long is this going to take in order for me to become successful or get around the right people? Sometimes it's really just that decision. Yeah. The moment you make that decision is the moment things turn on. All right. But if you never make the decision, it never turns on. And so when did I make the decision? I never forget this, man. I was coming from, I actually came back home. I think it may have been a break. We had some kind of break. I'm not sure what break it was, Christmas break or something like that. But we had a break. It was my sophomore year in college. And I was at home, man. I was looking for all kinds of ways to make money. And you know how you go on those websites, right? And it's like, you can make $10,000 in 2 weeks, you know? And like they have all these emails and these pages and funnels going out. And I was clicking on everything and putting my name and email in it like, yeah. You know, make $20,000, make $10,000 in 2 weeks. And to be honest with you, you know, none of those things actually worked. But I was fired up. I was hopeful. I felt like it could work. And so I ended up meeting a gentleman while I was at the Starbucks looking for ways to make money. I ended up meeting a gentleman. Big shout out to Mr. Anthony Walker, one of my first mentors that actually was the real reason I made the pivot.
Can I pause you right there?
Yeah.
This is insane because it's once you start being hopeful and start looking. Yeah. What's that? Oh, no, I'm on. Yeah. What's that? Reticular vision or something. When you just bought a Ford Focus, right? Yeah. You go out and you only start seeing Ford Focuses. Yeah. I forgot what that's called. Law of attraction. Man. Yeah, law of attraction. Right when you're hopeful, right when you want to keep moving, you're going to start attracting those things and you're going to start noticing people around you. Yeah. And that's Anthony Walker, right? You said?
Yeah, Anthony Walker, man. He came into my life. I was actually looking, so I left out of the Starbucks, right? Yeah. After looking. And I found nothing, right? I was trying to figure out ways to make a lot of money really quick, but it just didn't happen. And so I was walking out, I was going back to my car, and right next to my car was his car. I didn't know it at the time. I was looking inside of his car because he had something hanging from his rearview mirror from a fraternity that I was looking into. And at South Carolina State University, I was actually in a pre-line, if you will. I was on the pre-line for this fraternity. And by the way, major respect to that fraternity. You guys know who I'm talking about. You know, a lot of you dogs out there, but but you know what I'm saying. And so, you know, I was looking and I was like, oh man, he's a part of that, and that's what I'm looking to be a part of, right? And so, long story short, he was coming outside and he was like, hey, you know, because I was looking at his car, it looks weird, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, you know, how you doing? You know, what's your name? What you looking for? You know, and I was just telling him a little bit about, you know, what was happening, and I'm kind of on this journey to become. He was like, oh, okay, great, that's awesome. You know, what school you go to? And he started asking me a little bit about what I'm doing in life, and I just told him, I said I was actually looking for ways to make some extra money. He said, well, that's ironic. I actually help a lot of people like yourself to create passive income online. You know, we got to talking. He introduced me to my now mentor, Tony Rodriguez, who is phenomenal, super, super next level guy. And he has changed my life literally for the last 10 years. He's been my primary coach in an online e-commerce business. And that is actually how I was able to get my pivot. That was the pivot, right? So I went to all of these different meetings with these entrepreneurs. I started learning. I started growing. I got involved in e-commerce, right, at that time. And, you know, I started making a little money. I went back to college. I started building the business. I realized there's not a lot of leaders where I thought there were leaders. So I had to pivot. I ended up leaving that school on a whim to come back to be with my mentor.
Sophomore year?
My junior year.
Okay.
You know, I just packed up my bags and left. I didn't withdraw from school or nothing. I literally had stuff still going up money-wise. Like I was still there.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I just packed my bags and I left. I told my mentor, I'm coming back to Atlanta. I have to be, you know, around you guys, because out here right now, it's not tracking as it relates to growing a business like what we have. And so I came back to Atlanta, and my coach said, hey, you got to finish. If you start something, you got to finish it. So I went to Atlanta Institute of Music to finish out my last year. I went at the top of the class. I got the scholarship. There's only one scholarship they give out per semester. And so I got the scholarship. Atlanta Institute of Music. My mentor is there. Oh my gosh, Gary Wilkins, bass player, phenomenal. You know, all the guys that helped me in that area helped me to get on these major stages and playing music for all these big artists. It was phenomenal. So I graduated there, and in September 27th, 2014, I graduated from there, and I went full time in my business, and my life changed forever.
There you go.
My life changed forever, bro. And so it happened to me when I realized that I wanted more. It happened to me when I realized that my mom was working her butt off, working her chops off, and we weren't millionaires.
Exactly.
You know, and we weren't living the lifestyle that we really wanted to live. And it wasn't because that she couldn't do it. It was because it just wasn't happening. And I wanted to figure it out. And so I had to make a pivot. I had to make a shift, and I took it in my own hands. And thank God, because of all that, it's now happening. You know, I'm taking care of my mom. She's amazing. She's got her own life. She's super vibrant.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of myself. I got a few other people that I'm covering. It's phenomenal, bro. It's awesome. Now we get to help more people.
I love those stories. Because before I started my journey, when I started my journey, like when I stopped smoking and doing all that stuff, I would always hear these stories. I'm like, I always ask, do you have any documentation of your life?
Yeah. I got pictures, bro. I got pictures.
Like when you changed, like right when you changed, did you start writing down, journaling?
I do have a lot of notes from coaching sessions that I had, and I have to dig that up. I know I have it, though.
That's good.
I have to dig it up, but I got tapes, CDs, I got videos. My mentors has got videos and pictures of me.
There you go, yeah.
When I was changing. I got pictures of me, bro, when I was straight looking like the hood. Okay? Like, I got pictures, bro, that you'd be like, that is not you, Jikeme. You know what I mean? I have videos. I got pictures of me talking, and my vernacular, the way I speak, was totally different, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, completely different.
Okay.
You know, and if anybody knows Atlanta, anybody from the South Side or from, Old National Gobby Road, Red Oak, that area, College Park area, we have a really interesting slang. A really interesting slang.
Is it the skiwi?
No. No. It's really interesting, but when you start developing, you start growing, and you start changing, you start realizing that although that was pivotal, although that time that I had was epic, it was what I needed to be who I am today. I'm super thankful for the way I grew up. Like, although it was not perfect and there was a lot of crazy stuff happening, and my mom was straight shielding me from all of that stuff, I'm thankful, but I'm also grateful that I'm in the position that I am in now, and I'm able to speak to the younger guys and like, yo, bro,
Dude.
I already know what's going on. It's cool, but let me show you how to navigate this and get to the level you want to really be. But if you don't want to be there, that's cool. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to change you.
Yeah.
Because no young person wants any person to try to change them, and I think that's the epidemic that we have now between the older, and the younger.
That's exactly, yeah. That's my goal. Once money's all free, I want to hit kids who between the ages of 13 and like 19, right? Smoking weed, they're stuck, playing video games all day.
Right. Have
these horrible addictions, staying home, doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was able to take out maybe 3 guys. One guy right now, he's actually just starting his journey. He's in mechanic school.
Nice.
And I work out with him. His name is Jimmy. He's gonna do big things. But one thing about him that always annoyed me, and I always told him, is stop complaining. Stop. Once you get those complaints out of your life, just show every morning I wake up, I have the schedule. I pray, show gratitude. I read my definite plan from Think and Grow Rich.
Nice.
And then I'd go to the gym. Right? That's the day, right? I keep that in stack. Even if I don't go to the gym, I still wake up to that and I go to sleep like that.
Wow.
Except for the gratitude part. But anyways, the same thing.
So what would you say to the guys, right? Right now they're around your age, maybe a little bit younger, and they got the girls thing going on, right? They're looking at the girls, they're hanging out with the girls, they're spending time. What would you say about this?
So when I started my journey, I wrote down my thoughts, because I started writing down my thoughts. And this is actually one of the first things I wrote was, choose a partner that pushes you to be your best self, that will guide you down the right path and to fulfill each other's purpose on this earth, right? And if it's not that, then it's not it, right? Because then it's just distracting. Like, it's just distractions at that point.
100%.
And even now, it's just, if both of you guys are not willing to like invest, or if she's not willing to invest in you, I don't want to be like into deep, because I'm only like, I'm so young, I don't have that experience. But it's really just that, right? It's just making sure that none of you guys are distracting each other. It's not a distraction, right? It's not just to fill a spot of love, because love is just a verb. You actually have to put in the work. It's a different LLC. It's a different business. Yeah. You have to put in the work. Like that's what Patrick Bet-David said. It's a whole different LLC.
I love what Pat said. He said, hey guys, I can't promise you anything, but I can tell you this: we're gonna be married for a year. I thought that was amazing, and I really agree with it. Yeah. Because people change, man. And people decide that, hey, maybe I want to go a different way. Maybe this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And at the end of that year, I think it's okay for you to revisit it. A lot of people get together and they want the long term, but they have short term work ethic. Yeah. They want the long term, but they have short term, realistic love ideology. Like they want to be together forever, but they still have hurt and things that they have to work through that they've never worked through before.
Yeah.
And so when he said that, I was like, yo, I have to implement that somehow into my life when it's time for me, because you just never know, you know, in this day and age. It's not, I mean, they don't really make the queens the way they used to make them.
No, right.
You know what I mean? And we're hoping that it goes to a better level, right? We're hoping that the ladies are going to the better, and even the guys, like guys have to, all of us collectively, we have to get better.
Exactly. And that's, that's where it comes in, being better to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Starting out young, stop playing video games, start working on yourself. Stop, just start. Biggest recommendation I can make it anyway, I know you hear it all the time, is read. And I'll give you guys a book. I'll give you guys a book to start out with. It's called Breaking the Bad Habit of Being Yourself. I read that book in a week.
Fire.
This is a good tip for you guys. Look, listen. You grab the amount of pages in the book and you divide it by how many days you want to read it. So say I read a book once a week. I try to read a book once a week, once every 8 days, 7 days.
That's fire, bro.
And that book had 240 pages, so I read like about 30 pages a day, 40 pages. And I'm telling you, that book, it changes how you think. It basically unravels. Everyone's born with this DNA they grew up with, right? If your grandparents were stubborn, you have like this stubbornness, right? This book basically grabs that DNA with your thoughts, unravels it, and then you're able to create new DNA just by your thoughts alone. It's like Think and Grow Rich, right? Once you have a definite plan, you read that plan every day with your thoughts. You read it. It's the same process. This was made by a doctor. I forgot. He was a psychologist or something. Great book. Recommend it. First read.
Yeah.
First read.
I mean, the fact that you're reading, bro, like.
The fact that I'm reading.
That's huge. I mean, a lot of people are not reading. I mean, I remember when I was in college, or maybe even a little bit before, like at the time, the only real book that I had read from start to finish was Huckleberry Finn. You know what I mean? And I was super smart. That's the thing, like super smart, super intelligent. Yeah. I was excelling in all of my classes, but I wasn't reading a book a week. Okay. And I didn't really start reading until I told you before, you know, when I got with my mentors, my coaches, when I was in my sophomore year and came back to Atlanta, like that's when I really started reading books. Yeah. I started reading, you know, one of my favorite books, The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, right? You know, one of the best books you can get if you're looking to jump into entrepreneurship for real and actually be successful. Exactly. You know, I started reading these books and learning and developing and listening to audios and positive audios, and it just really changed my life. So I think you're right, Lucas. You know, if you're a lady or a guy right now and you're trying to figure out how to navigate being a successful or an entrepreneur or just getting out of the rut, read books.
Self-knowledge, self-growing books.
100%.
Go to Barnes & Noble, go to the self-transformation section and get those books.
Dude, Positive Mental Attitude, PMA, right?
And addition to that, I do want to say the Bible is all those books in one. Just 100%. FYI. It's all those books in one. All those books are just basically like just specific, and then they grab stories out and then they put them in the books. 100%. Bible has it all for self-transforming, but it's just a big book.
You want to save some money, guys?
Yeah, just buy
one.
You don't want to
read. You want to buy what? The number one success principle book on the planet. Go get the Bible, and then go get a group of people who are positive, who can help you dissect the Bible. Because a lot of people just read it. It's like they don't even understand it, right? Yeah. But when you get around positive people who don't have a preconceived notion, or they don't have like, you know, this is the way it is. It's like, no, let me figure out what way it is by dissecting it and allowing your heart and your mind and your body, your ability, your soul to attach itself to what's actually happening and figure out what's actually right and what's good for you. Because really, the book is instructions, right? At the end of the day, what you feel, what's being told to you, how you're receiving information from the one above is actually how to interpret that book. So, you know, yeah, man, I love dissecting the Bible. That's probably my most favorite activity in the world. But go ahead.
Did you grow up religious then? Or?
I did, man. Okay. I did, and I did stray away from it for a little bit.
What age?
I was freshman year in college.
Okay, there you go.
I had a moment, man, where I just for some reason I I just started doing everything that I didn't do or didn't get a chance to do or didn't have the opportunity to do. Okay. And you know, in college. And I had a moment where I don't ever want to feel that again. Has anybody ever had that moment? Have you ever had this moment, bro, where it's like you feel like God has left you?
Oh yeah. 100%.
That is the most worst feeling in the world.
It's because it's like, who loves me, right? I mean, if you believe in God, it's really just like it's like a heartbreak almost, man. It's no, it is a heartbreak, right?
You feel empty.
Yeah, you feel empty.
Nothing's going right.
Yeah.
Everything's going wrong.
It's just horrible.
You can't even buy a break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, everything was going wrong, man. And I was doing everything wrong. Yeah. And God hit me, man. And I'll never forget it. I was crying. I was pushing stuff around. I was punching walls. Yeah. I was beating my head up against walls. I'm serious. I mean, it was really bad in my dorm room. Yeah. And I remember God, as I stayed in there, by the way, the entire day. Like, I never leave. I don't think I even used the restroom or got up to pee, bro. It was, I mean, and I remember God, as loud as I ever could hear him before, he said, "Open the Bible." I mean, it was it was crazy. I was looking around, I was like, is anybody here? I mean, seriously, it was loud in my head. Open the Bible. And so I opened the Bible. I did not flip through any pages or anything. I just opened it. And the first thing it came to was Isaiah, the first chapter. And I'm telling you, if you open up the book right now, for everybody who's listening to this, run and go get your Bible right now and open it up to Isaiah, the first chapter, and read the entire first chapter. It will tell you, what was going on.
Crazy, man. When I was down too, I did the exact same thing. God told me I was down exactly like you said, and I prayed. I was like, dude, I need you right now. Right now, I need you right now. And I drove down to the lake with my Bible. I wanted to make it memorable because I know God is always there. I drove down to the lake, and I was like, all right. It was raining. It was pouring. And I opened up my Bible. It was Proverbs 83, and I read the whole thing. And I was like, holy, it's insane, man. God is great, and he just puts you in these positions so you can overcome them, right?
Yeah.
And it was a crazy moment, like yours. But
yeah, I overcame it, but I kept reading because when I was reading the first time, I was like, yo, I'm about to die. I'm like, yo, I'm out of here. I mean, it's no hope for me. I mean, if you read Isaiah first chapter, it's horrible. I mean, it's like, there's no hope. There's nothing else. But see, if you keep reading, if you keep reading it, it says, however, you know what I mean? And so I was like, all right, Lord, let me focus on the however part. Let me focus, let me get this thing right, funny, or at least try to get it right, because I'm gonna be honest, as I was reading it, I was just going deeper and deeper in the hole. I was like, this is bad. This is showing me everything that I've done wrong.
I mean, dude, and then it said, however, right?
Right, and it's like, hey, here's the good news, yeah. And so I'm super thankful, like, God gives us a second or third chance, but at the same time, we do have to make the chances that he gives us worth it, and for all of those who are kind of battling with internal issues or, external issues, things that are happening in your life, it's not over for you. So keep going, right? It's not over. But at the same time, can we focus on either becoming a part of an accountability group, or become a part of our team of the wave makers, or get in some type of community or environment where you can be able to, communicate and chat and get things off and like grow from this.
I do want to say this, big guy, Ed Milet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I carried this quote with me every day. I don't know. You've heard it. It goes like, God did not give you another day because you needed it. Mm-hmm. God gave you another day because someone else needed you. Yeah. Right. And good. I carry that with me every day, because it's just telling you that you're not on this earth for you. Right. You're here for someone else. Someone 100%. Else needs you. Someone else needs your heart, your knowledge. Right. Yeah. And that's good. And I'm learning a lot from you too.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I mean, I say something every day when I wake up in the morning, Same thing. I get up in the morning. I have to pray before my feet touch the ground.
Yeah.
I have to pray. I have to say, God, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for giving me breath in my lungs. Thank you for allowing me to see, to hear, to smell, to touch, to feel, right? All the little things that we forget, because a lot of us are asking for big things. But if you lose your hearing, it's over, bro.
Exactly.
I mean, at least for some time being. And if you can't see, bro.
Imagine.
I mean, you know what I mean? So the little things that give us the ability to kind of go out and be ourselves are just the things that I'm thankful for. But I say this one thing, and I say it all the time. God, allow me to be a part of the miracle that you're doing in the place I'm going to walk in today. I say that everywhere I go.
I like that.
I want to be a part of the miracle that you're doing in somebody else's life. And it has helped me tremendously. I actually got that from one of my mentors, super successful. I think he was making well over millions and millions of dollars at the age of 24. His name is Rick Fairchild. Huge shout out to Rick Fairchild. But he told me, Jikeme, you ought to start saying that every day. You ought to start saying it every day, every day. And you know what? Ever since he's told me that and I've been saying that, I've been getting blessed everywhere I go. When I walk into places, I get blessed. When I walk into different places or places I never thought I'd be, I'm a part of the miracle that God is doing in somebody else's life. I get to help them. I get to impact their life. And so saying these positive affirmations and saying things that can navigate your ability through that law of attraction or godly attraction rather is important, So yeah, man, I want to, as we're kind of going all around here. I know we are. And it's awesome because it's really just an authentic conversation with you. And I'm enjoying it.
I know.
What would you say is your next move? Because I know we talked about your next 5 moves. Patrick David's got a phenomenal book. But what would you say is your next move?
So I have 2 things planned out, right? I mean, my next move is Orlando, right? Once this week gets situated, it's Orlando. Get a property down there.
Nice.
Multi-family property, so I can rent out the other units, and really just build my network and just start branding. I kid you not, God put me in this amazing position. I'm on Jeff's advisory team. I don't like saying sales team. I like saying advisory because it's all helping, right? I'm on Jeff's team, and he put me in this amazing position where I've gotten so close with Jeff where I have all the strategies there.
Yeah.
All this branding and marketing strategies there. Like, that's college, like 4 years, like it's like not even 4 years worth of college. It's like 20 years worth of business right there. Yeah. It's all there. And he put me in this amazing position where this web agency, start branding it, right? Start marketing it. It's just all these signals going at me, but the only thing I have to do is just put the hard work in. My next 15 moves, I'd rather not. I mean, I could get into it, but I don't have it written down. I mean, I have it written down, but I don't have it memorized.
Right. No, that's fine. So let me ask you this. What does the wave makers mean to you? You've seen me moving and grooving, doing my thing and helping a lot of people. We run a great production company and content marketing company. But what would you say, based off of what you've seen and how you've interacted and what you felt, what does the wave makers mean to you?
I like to say that it's someone who, right? I think of it as, I don't think of it as the ocean. I think of it as the people in the stadium going, shoo, right? And there's always that one person that starts it. There's always that one person that starts the wave. And once everyone starts doing the wave and it comes back, it's like, it's such a good feeling. And it's such an amazing feeling from like the whole stadium, from like, the crowd.
Yeah.
So what I get from it, is it's a movement. Yeah. It's a movement. One person does it, but that person who moves doesn't do it for themselves, right? He does it for the crowd. He does it to help, like, to get people going, to get people moving, Yeah. So that's what I get from it.
I love that, bro.
I don't know if I change your whole
No, but I think that might be the first time I've ever heard somebody say it like that. Okay. I mean, that's phenomenal, and it's true.
Yeah.
I've always been the oddball, bro. Yeah. I've always been the one guy that makes or creates a new wave. So the fact that you said it like that, it's really just confirmation.
Yeah. No, I love what you're doing. This is something good.
Would you consider yourself a wave maker?
I would say from where I'm at, from where I am, I think I am. and I know that I'll be starting a big wave soon. I'll be starting a big wave for young men.
Nice.
Yeah, I got big targets to hit.
Yeah.
Right, and I think I'm gonna be creating a big wave.
Awesome, man. We'd love to help you with that. You know,
you already are. You're getting my story out there.
Yeah, man.
You got me in the beginning of my journey, which is amazing because it's like we're gonna look back at this and be like, dang.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'm never gonna forget this.
So, what is the scariest moment? Right, scariest moment in the last, let's just say, 30 days. What has been the most scariest moment, and how did you overcome it?
The Vault. The Vault networking, biggest networking event I've ever been to. I mean, networking with realtors is okay, right? I mean, it's just people in your same industry. But meeting multimillionaires and billionaires, amazing salespeople, people who know more than you, people who have a higher confidence, people who are authentic, people who, you know, how do you say that word? They're like they're too confident, right? And then you just learn a lot. But I didn't know that going into that, right? I thought it was just like a whole bunch of people that they already know each other. No one's gonna want to talk, right? So I was trying to stick with people I know, which is the worst thing you can do at a network. Don't stick with people you know at a networking event. Don't, because they know the game. They're gonna leave you. You're just gonna be looking like a
plus one.
Yeah,
bro.
plus one. That was like the first. And I'm gonna go off track a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm thankful and grateful for being the youngest sibling. Shout out to all the youngest siblings, because I do believe you're the most observant. I'm the youngest out of 4. Wow. And I do believe you're the most observant out of the whole family, being the youngest, right? Yeah. I would see what my brother would do. I see what my sister would do. They would get in trouble. I would do the same thing, but take a different route. Yeah. Exactly. Wow. So going back on track, I noticed that. I observed it within the first 2 hours. I was like, oh, man, I look like a joke. I don't want to do this. So that was pretty scary. Going into that, I was just hopping on someone's back, just like, you know, just hopping on people that I know, just driving talking to people that I know and all that stuff. It's not good. Don't do that.
So I know we talked about this a little earlier, and I want people to hear it, and I'll share mine later. But where did entrepreneurship start for you?
Yeah, it started when I was for people my age. They probably know what Ninja Stars is. Ninja Stars, it's this origami thing where you would build sticky notes and you would be able to close and open it, throw it in class. They actually banned them because they were spiky. Wow. But 3rd grade, I don't know how old I was, but I just remember the grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. I would build like a box of these, and I would just sell them for food, for anything, right? For anything that I could get, for extra chicken tenders at lunch. I would just get what I want.
I love it.
Some people would give me money, but that's when it started. Ninja Stars, creating. I'm dexterous. I like creating stuff with my hands. I was a mechanic for 4 years.
Wow.
Or 3 years, my bad. 3 years. I leveled up on that exponentially, like super fast. But that's a different story. But I've always been hands-on, creating stuff and then just giving it.
So you can build a house.
Oh yeah, Lego house.
Because you said something about construction. I was like, man, I just moved into this new home. I'm like, I kind of wanted to see if you could do the basement. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm out in Atlanta, but.
Right. We had to get you down here. That's awesome. But yeah, man, so at least for me, like I was telling you before, it started, man, when I was like in the ages between like 7 and 9.
Okay.
You know, believe it or not, for anybody who knows Old National Road, Old National Highway right there, I actually used to sell Krispy Kreme donuts on the side of the road right next to the McDonald's on Old National Highway.
Man, they didn't call the cops on you.
No, it was a bunch of us. I mean, we were figuring out, you know, before the Water Boys of Atlanta, it was like us selling Krispy Kreme donuts.
The Water Boys.
And so there's Water Boys of Atlanta right now. They got their thing going on. Big shout out to all of the people in Atlanta, all the Water Boys of Atlanta doing their thing, you know, making money. But the Krispy Kreme that we got it from was like a block away, right? It was like a block or two away. We take the Krispy Kreme, walk a couple blocks all the way up the street where the gas station was and the McDonald's was. And, man, we were selling Krispy Kreme donuts all the time. And crazy enough is I didn't know that the money was going to a church, and the preachers decided to use the money to buy mink coats. We raised like $3,000. It was amazing. So that's kind of where where I figured out that I was somewhat of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Or people start saying he's great, right? Or he can sell, or he can, whatever case may be. Right. And so I just took it from there. I started really pushing the envelope. I did the Pokemon cards, and Digimon and Beyblades and selling stuff at school, and I did that whole thing of realizing that there was a situation, like there was a negative connotation of cafeteria food in school. Yeah. And so, I would bring in hoagie sandwiches, chips, and drinks. Okay. And I would sell them, and people were buying them. I mean, there was literally times where I was bringing in like duffel bags of packaged really nicely, sandwiches, hoagie sandwiches, chips and drinks, and I even got fancy with it. I know right now, Highway 85, Quick Trip. If you're seeing this, yes, it was me. I'm sorry, but I used to go into Quick Trip and get all of the condiments. The ketchups, the mustards, the mayonnaise, and I would make it look official. Like, I mean, think about going into school and I got all the condiments you need, for your sandwich. You know what I'm saying? And it was amazing, bro. Like I made a lot of money, and to be honest with you, I happily say at Riverdale High School, I made $3,000 selling hoagie sandwiches, chips, and drinks. Oh, no exaggeration. No, exactly. Everybody knows it. If you went to school, Riverdale High School, Jikeme, I was selling hoagie sandwiches. I mean, there was times where I would walk into class and the teacher wouldn't even allow me in the class unless I gave them a hoagie sandwich, a chips, and drink, because the cafeteria food was horrible. So for everybody out there, you're looking to navigate, how do I make money in this economy? Follow the problem. Write that down. Find the problem. Follow the problem, and then create or customize a solution for that problem, and then make it happen, right? Exactly. Go out there and put together a game plan and make it happen. I watched my mom, man, be an entrepreneur, and she had to raise money, because at the time I was heading out to fight for the USA Olympic team. I'm a kickboxer. So I was on the USA kickboxing team. Yeah. We were traveling the world, and this was our first time going. We had to pay our way there this time. It was our first time. And it was $6,000, right? And so that's the reason why I was selling the hoagie sandwiches, because, number one, I need to find a problem. I was creating a solution for a problem. Yeah. But also, I had another problem. I needed $3,000 in order to go overseas to Croatia, Zadar, to fight for the USA Olympic team in 2006. So it was, my mom, she was selling too. She was selling, fish sandwiches. No exaggeration, bro. Hot fish out of the grill, like out of the oil, with like bread and potato salad, and like no exaggeration. Man. I mean, plates were flying off the shelf in Union City, right? It was crazy. And she raised $3,000 as well, and that's how we were able to go. And I actually won no kidding. Yeah, I got the gold medal and for a USA Olympic team.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, it's crazy. You guys go Google it. It's amazing. But I was like, whoa. I mean, we were doing all this, and we were going. So my whole life, since I was about maybe 8 years old, I've been an entrepreneur. And then I went from entrepreneur to now I run a business. Now I'm a business owner, right?
One thing I want to see is you and Andrew Tate in the ring, kickboxing.
I would love that, bro. Andrew Tate, I love you. We'll do it. We'll do an exhibition match just totally for the love and for the fun. I totally do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great.
For the views.
Yeah, man.
You're going to be the wave maker.
Oh, yeah. Wave makers going up for sure. Definitely an Andrew Tate fan. I think he's phenomenal. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, anything that you need in order to help you go to the next level and take yourself to the next level, what do you think that is? Like what leak do you think that if it was filled, it would help you go to the next level? What do you feel like it is?
I think I would say just the network. I don't know. I would say the network. I know Patrick said think about it deeply.
Yeah.
But I also think network.
Yeah.
And just having a plan for my web design. I have the steps, right? I feel like God already gave me the steps needed. I just have to put in the work, which I've been doing.
Yeah.
But it's to reach for the next level is putting everything together. Like I have all these puzzle pieces, and I have to create the one puzzle. So I think that's my biggest leak is someone helping me just putting these puzzle pieces together.
Wow. So it's really strategy.
Yeah,
right?
strategy.
Get the right strategy,
Exactly.
the right blueprint, and make it happen. Well, here's what we'd like to extend to you, bro.
Yeah.
Just for being on the Wavemaker podcast with us and taking us to the next level.
Yeah.
We never share this with people who are coming in like on their first time. We're just like, hey, we know that we can help them in some type of way. So at the end of the podcast, we give them something, right? We give them something that we can help them navigate. And you never knew this, right? But,
No, I didn't. I'm shocked.
But hey, here's what we want to do at the Wavemaker Institute, right, with us and our company. Yeah. We want to give you one free consultation strategy session to literally build out your entire step-by-step strategy on how to go from zero to hero and take the business that you want to do in the next level. Man. You get 1 hour with me and my team, and we're going to help you grow it, bro.
Oh, man. Yo, this is, this would be what, $3,000 right here?
100%, bro. 100%.
Yeah, that's great. Oh man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
I honestly do.
Well, listen, man, we're so thankful. Yeah. I hope that you got everything out that you wanted to get out. But even if you didn't, guess what? You can always come back. Wavemaker Podcast is always open for coaches, consultants, speakers, service providers, people who are looking to grow and scale. They're looking to create waves, and they need maybe that next tip, that next trick, whatever, that strategy. They just need to go to the next level, or they need to tell their story, right? And so that's what it's all about, man. So we're thankful. We know that you're not missing the wave. You're not playing in the sand.
I'm not playing in the sand.
You're focused on getting it in. So thanks so much for being with us, man. And if you have anything else, go ahead and share with us.
3 things. To reach the next level for all the young men out there: self-control, self-focus, self-growth. Those 3 things, just hit it off, be yourself, and just stay focused.
I love that, bro. Wow.
Yeah, man.
I love that. Self-control is huge.
Self-control is the biggest thing that you need. It's self-control, self-growth, and self-focus. Putting all those 3 together, category, like filling in what you need. That's what I started out with. Self-control specifically, controlling your emotions. Don't be too excited. Don't be too mad. Don't be too sad, right? And that's fine being at the young age you are.
Yeah.
But once you get older, then you can be like too excited, right? But you learn self-control. You're controlling your emotions. You're controlling how you look outside.
100%. I was one of my bros, man. Huge shout out to him. Toby Gatson, owner of the Actors District. He's one of the greatest actors and coaches for actors that I've seen, really. I mean, he's phenomenal. He